Witness me, Smegma Crazies, and welcome back to Mad Max. As we continue getting Max towards his, maximum level, you can see his stats on the right side are getting pretty close to being maxed out. In fact, I think we've only got one real Wasteland level to go, and we'll be able to max out our, inventory capacity. And at that point, there'll be nothing left to buy. Well, some vehicle upgrades here and there, but not too much aside from that.
Well, to wield such a mysterious force.
Today is going to be a pretty simple video. There's going to be some time running into border vehicles and just sitting next to them for some reason, like an idiot. I'm going to be taking out this convoy. There's going to be I think it's kind of a neat top dog camp. It's a long endurance beatdown, and then we're gonna find a new body style for our beloved magnum opus. One of the two remaining that we haven't found just yet. For some reason, I've been having a lot of trouble ramming things lately. They just kind of, I don't know, like, there's connection, but, like, the front-on ram, for some reason, is doing, like, 0 damage to cars I'm hitting lately. I don't really know why. It's probably fine.
You'll be sitting quite still without wheels.
So somebody asked me these random hood ornaments that I'm finding throughout the Wasteland. Where did those come from? And I think it's not a pre-order bonus, but apparently the edition of the game I got came with some extras. And one of the extras is to have this these extra hood ornaments that a lot of them are actually based off of things in the Mad Max universe.
Oh, you heard about that cut, Noose. He the one that liked to hang you on your gut rope. Yeah, him. Saw him smack some pups once. Only one got any kind of pain on him was one who just hammered away in a kind of fury-like frenzy. Guess you better be furious to beat that boy.
In case you didn't quite catch it, the top dog in this camp is weak to fury, so you need to build up your fury to beat him down. But yeah, I rewatched Mad Max 2 recently, and can I just say, wow, that movie really holds up after almost 40 years? Like, it's not Fury Road, which, you know, a lot of movies aren't Fury Road, so I can hardly hold that against them. But Mad Max 2, The Road Warrior, is still a very, very solid movie. I was pretty impressed with what I saw, actually.
Sneak shot got his gun on us.
But as I was mentioning, some of the things that we're finding around the Wasteland, these extra hood ornaments, and those are the ones that I'm finding just sometimes in camps and sometimes in random scavenging locations. Some of those are neat little references, like the current front ornament we've got right now is a Gyro Captain's helmet, which the Gyro Captain is actually one of Max's main allies in the Road Warrior, and the person who goes on to be the temporary leader of the Great Northern Tribe. There are some other items of interest, like another hood ornament I think is Wes's shoulder pads, which Wes is like the mandatory guy who will not die and keeps like haunting Max throughout the entire movie. But Mad Max 2 coming from Mad Max 1, they feel like different movies almost to an extent. I mean, they've obviously got narrative continuity. I mean, Mel Gibson actually looks like Mad Max for a change rather than, I don't know, whoever the guy in Mad Max 1 was. Really didn't look like Mel Gibson. It was weird. But you know, it starts off from the same location. Max is essentially, he's driven off into the wilderness, but he's living off of, well, he's a scavenger in the Wasteland. He's got his V8 Pursuit Special, but not much beyond that. And it starts off with him being pursued by what appears to be police vehicles. They've got the sirens, they've got the lights, but, you know, in this new lawless land, might makes right.
Me partner's arrived. Let's play. Let's play that old-time game of lust and death.
So, Gut Noose here. Gut Noose serves two purposes in Scrotus's army. One of them is this is like a fight pit for the war boys. This is where they earn their chops, I guess I'd say, as loyal soldiers of Scrotus. The other thing, the thing he got his name from, was apparently he has mastered the art of ripping out somebody's intestines and then hanging them with them. You know, so, I mean, his name is pretty literal. He uses somebody's guts to make a noose. Which, you know, good for him. Once again, I appreciate Mad Max names being accurate, for lack of a better word. But yeah, so Mad Max 2 is definitely a much more solid movie than Mad Max 1 is, and I appreciate it. Like, my eyes were kind of glued to the screen, and I was surprised, because last time I watched it, I was kind of distracted, you know, preparing food and whatnot. I sat down to watch the movie, and normally I get distracted. But no, it was a solid ride all the way through. You know, Max is doing his scavenger thing. He encounters the gyro captain early on, and, you know, tricks him. And at this time, also, Max does have a dog friend. The dog's name is not Dinky D, or Dinky Die, as I've had pointed out by wise Australian linguists. But they do have the dog food, the Dinky Die dog food. So that's got to be where it came from in this game as well. But Max has a cool dog friend, and the gyro captain, you know, in return for his life, gives Max a heads up as to where a fuel depot is, you know, because the V8 Special, well, V8 fuel isn't easy to come by in the Wasteland. So he gets there, and he fights off part of an attack by followers of the Humongous, also known as Lord Humongous. Which actually reminds me, we do get to see Lord Humongous yelling at the fuel depot, because obviously he wants fuel as well. But he has a wasteland crier, I guess you'd say it is. Definitely not the same along the lines of a war crier, but more along the lines of, you know, a wasteland showman. And that guy's named the Toady. And there is actually another hood ornament that is based on him, which I think I'll equip in a few videos. But the hood ornament's description kind of references all the great wasteland, names? No, showmen, like Dr. Dealgood, who pops up in Beyond Thunderdome. But at least one thing that is noticeable about Mad Max 2 is that it has a lot more, I would say, hands-on violence than Mad Max 1 did. But also, a lot of the car scenes are not more chaotic, but they're definitely more descriptive, I guess I'd say. Like the last part of the movie, like Max is driving a giant tanker, and he rams headfirst into the Humongous, and like Lord Humongous's vehicle like splinters into little tiny pieces, and it is glorious to watch. I did mention Wes and Wes's shoulder pads. Wes is the start of what I guess I would call Max having a persistent adversary. Wes has a lover. I don't remember if Wes's lover has a name, but his lover's pretty much always with him. They're basically attached to the hip. Whenever Wes goes somewhere on his motorcycle, his lover is like riding side saddle. There's another character, little kid, feral kid. He's got a boomerang. He throws the boomerang and kind of hits Wes's lover in the head. And, well...
And our dance begins.
Wes loses his damn mind because, you know, love is hard to come by in the Wasteland. But throughout the entire movie, Wes continues to be a danger to Max. When Max tries to escape, once he's done his part of the deal with the folks in the fuel depot, Wes is there to track down Max, and of course, Max's V8 Special gets destroyed, as it seems to do in every movie. That's not the first one. Because Max did, you know, he did himself a deal. He got the fuel he wanted from the fuel depot, and he's off on his own merry way because, well, Max is a survivor at the end of the day. And staying in touch with people, well, it sets you up for weakness. The movie does a pretty good job of summarizing Mad Max 1, so you don't actually have to go back and watch it. And it's a nice little 5-minute, you know, vignette of how the world went to hell. It does mention two great tribes firing off nukes. And so, if you're looking like for Mad Max history on what exactly went wrong, I guess it's nukes. Still doesn't explain, you know, the water going into sinkholes or whatever, but it's nukes.
Think people still believe in heroes.
We don't need another hero. But yeah, if you're not able to build up your fury on this guy, like you can see I wasted all my weapons around here, that was a mistake. Because otherwise you need the weaponry to stagger him to build up your fury. Otherwise you have to go for chain strikes, chain finishers. Once you get the fury mode going, it's pretty good, you can get in a pretty good rhythm, but getting to that point can be hard. But yeah, even for a 40-year-old movie, Mad Max 2 feels extremely solid. And like, honestly, I almost think it's a bit of a shame that it's followed up by Beyond Thunderdome, because I'm not as big of a fan of Beyond Thunderdome, for a few reasons. But yeah, I like this Top Dog camp. I think I like all the Top Dog camps. They don't have the same sort of grindy nature to them that the regular camps do. But this one's different because it's just a straight-up endurance fight from the start to finish. And of course, we get a new body color, which this one's actually unique among all the body colors, because this one actually gives you a 50% reduction in fire damage taken by the magnum opus. I want to say it's the only body color that actually has a mechanical benefit. So, you know, that's cool. But yeah, I guess I felt the need to drunkenly recap what I remember of Mad Max 1, because honestly the movie, it does not fit thematically with the rest of them at all. It doesn't fit aesthetically, maybe a little bit thematically, but it feels like a movie from a different series compared to Mad Max 1. I mean, or the rest of the Mad Max movies. It set the table, I guess I'd say, but aside from having one of the same characters, there's not much beyond that. One thing I am surprised by, I don't think there are any food sources inside this camp. It seems like one of those things you would find, you know, probably on your way up or something like that, just to say, hey, you made it through the gauntlet, here, have a free health refill. But no, I think all you really get is that water refill at the start, and maybe one further in. But of course, you don't get to access it until you've beaten all the war boys off. But yeah, I hesitate to recap Mad Max 2 because honestly, I can't do it justice. It's a really good movie, and I mean, there's still problems with it, but not that many. You know, when I finally get talking about Beyond Thunderdome, I'll have plenty of things to talk about in that one, because while the movie's aesthetics are on point, everything else is not so much. But it was a nice thing. It's a nice movie to revisit. And like I said, in prepping for this LP, I decided I needed to go through and watch all the movies. I've seen Fury Road a few times. I'd never seen Mad Max 1, and I only had like vague memories of seeing Mad Max 2. Beyond Thunderdome was one of those ones that's more child-friendly, I guess I'd say, which isn't necessarily a good thing, especially for, you know, Mad Max. It's not it's not the goal of Mad Max generally to be child-friendly entertainment.
They thought they had all the time in the world.
Well, as they say, rock and roll ain't noise pollution. Rock and roll ain't gonna die. Which is why the Wasteland has such colorful characters as the Doof Warrior, who was a practical effect in Mad Max Fury Road. He is a guitar player on one of the convoy's big rigs, and his guitar shoots fire. That's a practical effect. That wasn't CGI. A surprising amount of Mad Max Fury Road was practical effects, which I think is a big part of why it is such a gorgeous movie. If you haven't seen Fury Road yet, oh my gosh, you need to see Fury Road. It's really good. But yeah, we've gotten, what's it called? Gut Gaseous territory down to level 1 Scrotus presence. So we've unlocked quite a few, not a whole lot of upgrades, but a few upgrades. One of them is these Dune Cup tires, which I probably will equip because I spend a lot of time off-road. The other one is the most aggressive grill there is, the Clawjaw Kill Grill. Look at that thing, it's a damn cow catcher. Like you'd see that sort of thing on the front of a train. It gives you a massive hit in your handling and your acceleration, but boy oh boy, if it comes to a head-on collision, then you're gonna come out on top. So I mentioned the primer here has a special benefit. You can see it there on the left, 50% resistance to fire damage. But also it's a nice red color, because sometimes when you paint things red, they just go faster. These last two car bodies I'm looking for are in this area as well. So I'll fully admit, with regards to that last history relic, I've never been stoned, but I kind of wonder if that's what it's like. Nothing but twigs left. So this camp here, this little scavenging camp, is where we'll find our second to last car body. And I will be keeping this one in full because I think it's actually a pretty neat layout. It's actually a pretty well developed little camp. It's not like just like a random assortment of crap that, you know, has one or two pieces of scrap in it. No, it's got, it's almost like a little settlement. I mean, it's not very well fortified because Max is about to happen to it, but it's okay.
Quite the settlement.
Sign off, son!
He's dragging our scrap! Chop it down!
I almost feel like that's another rolling, I almost feel like that's another theme in Mad Max, people trying to take boots. Which is very understandable. People tend to underestimate how important your feet are, I guess, I would say. Like, yeah, no, like, even from movies like Die Hard, Mad Max 1, Fury Road, boots are an important commodity because I want to say a lot of the knowledge of boot making has been lost sometime in the apocalypse. You know, as these things happen. But yeah, boots are valuable. Boots are important. Your feet, you only have 2 feet, and they don't take too much punishment to fade out on you. Turns out when all you've got is a shotgun, every problem looks like something that's just waiting to get shot. I think we are still also coming up on a top dog whose weakness is shotgun blasts, but even when it says weakness, they're not really that weak to it, though. Most top dogs just take a shotgun blast to the face and just charge right on forward into shoulder check you anyway. But yeah, right up here is one of our beautiful dresses for the magnum opus, the death rattle. And I'm actually going to be equipping this one for the next video. I'll also be finding the last one, don't remember what it's called off the top of my head, for a video not too long after this. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and equip the death rattle, and I'm going to go ahead and call it here. But please join me next time when we take down the next top dog, Rim Jobby, and also we finally take on the Jaw. Until then, stay thirsty.